Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, July 10th, 2023. For those of you that are tuning in today and wasn't in on Thursday, we are on the road, Java with Jimmy live from Miami. But I am here and I forgot to text Dr. Brandy. If she's watching, she's going to kill me. Hi, Dr. Brandy. Today is Mental Health Monday, and we are taking a different approach to Mental Health Monday. We are going to chat with Ramilda Piera, who's the executive director of Project Turnaround. And we're talking about her project today, but from the mental health perspective, there is an impact on our mental health when we help. Even when we're in need and we're dealing with life issues, I've always been taught, and Bishop Bragg taught this to us, that your greatest time to give is when you're in need. And so this young lady, she does a lot of work locally. We might check in a little bit on the healing tour. But she also does work internationally. She was just recently, a few months, flown out from the president of Cabo Verde and did some stuff out there. She's working on a school out there. If you look in the comments, and we'll talk more about it in a second, but in the comments, I have pinned to the top of the comments the Amazon wish list that Ramilda has curated to support these young people there. And so without further ado, she's not a stranger here. And she might clap me a little bit here and there because that's just how we roll. Hi, Ro.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm great. Blessed.
That is good. You're great and blessed.
Early, busy morning, but I'm good.
Okay. We'll just, we won't go into details, but just keep Ramilda's family in prayer. Nothing major. She said everything is cool, but mothers, you know what you all do. On the mother's board. So keep the Piera family in prayer. But Ramilda,
Pereira.
Absolutely. What
you always call us Piera. It's Pereira.
Pereira. So
yes.
I guess you can get me now, because if people drop the S off my last name, sorry. I'll do better because names are important. Absolutely.
Yep.
But let's check in on Mental Health Monday, and I'm going to ask the folks to do it. But you do a lot of work. You're out there on social media advocating, you're an activist. Let me ask you, as a woman, as a mom, how you doing?
Honestly, I'm great. Better than I've ever been. See, I don't know. I always have a trouble with the word activist or like labels or anything like that, because then people seem to think like you're like Michelle Obama type, and I don't got it all together, right? I live day by day, one day at a time.
But if Michelle was here, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Cool. But it's like, but when you throw labels on people expect so much from you, right? And you're not allowed to mess up. You're not allowed to have a bad day. You're not allowed to make bad decisions. So I don't like titles. I'm just me. I'm Ramilda. I come from a particular community. I come from a particular country, background, whatever have you. And that's who I am, and that's who shapes and molds me. Due to my past, that's where my passion comes from, my personal lived experience. And that's why certain topics are dear to me. And again, due to my experience, my personal experience, that's where I step in and try to make change and use my voice and talk about my past experience to make those changes. But I'm still human.
Absolutely. And I think more than some, and there have been times where you've pulled my coattail. And I do get that about like titles and things like that, because there are expectations that are put on you when you take this, when people put titles on you, or as the old folks used to say, put you on a pedestal, the same ones that maybe put you up are the same ones that can take you down. And so that is definitely real. you are known for a lot of the work you do in Boston around restorative justice, around healing. But tell us about a lot of the other work you do outside of the United States. You're not restricted just to this country, just to Boston. Tell me about the other work that you're doing at home.
So my home would be Cape Verde, Fugu, Cape Verde to be exact. Cape Verde is made up of 9-10 islands. My family and I come from Fugu. Many people don't know this because I came when I was a baby, but I was actually born in Cape Verde. I was born in Fugu, in the city. And I came when I was a baby, so people always think I was born here. But back home, things are uplifting. It's totally different from when my parents were raised there, but there's still always help that needs to be done because we're not as close as we think we are. And there's a school in the part of the island that my dad is from, and the school needed to be revamped. Kids weren't using it. The young people, it's an elementary school, so the young people would walk 2-3 miles to go to the next school, to another school next to their town. So when I saw that and heard about that last year when I was there, I had an opportunity to go with my dad. And when I was able to see that, I don't know, I felt like I could do something. I felt like I could give back. And when I came home, I did coordinate with some friends, and I was able to send, which to us was a couple of dollars, but to them was so much. And they were able to fix the piping. They was able to paint the school over. And now, I just want to fill it with like furniture and books and something as little that the kids asked me for were like, the little wooden animals we had in kindergarten and you'd be able to, play with and things like that. Those are things, building blocks, simple things that we have here that we take for granted. They would love to have there. So I felt like it takes a village, a community to take care of each other. And not rich. I don't have money like that. I have one of the people that pay a lot in rent in this city. But I do have friends and I do have y'all and I do have people that do care that could help support, and all that goes to there. I don't like to take money from people. You asked me for my Cash App, but I prefer people to go on the wish list and make the purchases themselves. And I have an opportunity through Paulo Barros, and I'm grateful for him. So grateful that I will be able to ship the stuff to Cape Verde for free, and the president of Fugu will take it out and give it to the school. So we don't have to pay for shipment. But again, the wish list is there. There's things on there that one of the young people and I just had an opportunity, like you said, to go back out there a couple months ago. I was flown out to receive an award from the Prime Minister and the mayor of Fugu. And for the work that I've been doing back home, I was able to not only this, but able to, help other schools within the island. And I also was able to, we did have an ambulance in our island. And one of the first things that I saw last year was someone ended up getting into a motorcycle accident, and they literally picked him up and put him in the back of a pickup truck to bring him to the hospital. And he didn't make it. And I don't know, it was bothering me so much. So I came back and hit up everybody that I can and contacted all these people from the city or that used to work for the city that I have a close relationship with. And we were able to make something happen. And we're also in the process of being able to make some more stuff happen. As far as like ambulances, stuff from like the fire department, things like that. So it's third world country, if you want to say, even though if you look at us as people, we are amazing people. Cape Verdeans are dope. I'm always going to say that. But, the little that we don't have, it doesn't really out there. People are used to it. And that's another thing, poverty. And every time I go out there, I come back humbled. But it's poverty, but people still take care of each other, right? People don't.
The village.
You don't. Yeah, definitely. So the little bit of things that I can do to them is a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was able, and if Dr. Brandy is watching, she just texted me, Dr. Brandy, I apologize for not texting you this morning to say we shifted a little bit, but that is sort of the tie with the mental health impact. You talk about the village, you talk about despite, being in poverty, that folks are still helping and looking out for each other. And it's interesting because I've seen some memes lately that are saying the hard times, bring out the best. And sometimes I struggle with that. Like, why can't we have the best just because we deserve it? But you talked about how your past and how being there and seeing that influences you. And so you don't like accepting money. I heard about what you was doing. I've been aware of the Amazon list, and I've done it before, and I don't have no problem hustling to come to the Java with Jimmy family and say, hey, there are absolutely two ways that you all can help. If you look in the comments right now, it should be pinned at the top of the comment, but there is a link that you can share to a wish list. And I'm not at home with two screens. Someone try to do this. Ramilda, tell me if the screen is moving.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we got crayons, disappearing purple, the Elmer's glue that some of us used to tease people that used to eat it back in the day. There are desks here. There are alphabet and numeric cubes. There are chairs. There are sleeping mats. There are desks for the teachers. There are chairs. There are building blocks. There is a kitchen cooking set. This look okay. Then they done came up a little bit since we were kids.
Right.
And so we're not going to go to the purchase ones. We're going to go to the ones where the needs are. And so there's a cooking set, a Red Barn animal farm that Ramilda was talking about. They do plastic now, not the wood. But these go on here and click a link. And even if you can only buy, the cheapest thing I see on here right now is a box of crayons for like $10. All you have to do is go on and purchase it, and it will get to Ramilda and it will get to her wish list. And so these are the items that are needed. Again, Ramilda, Leslie says she loves your language. These are the items that are needed, for the school over there. And you said, there's some stuff in here that we would take for granted. A chair, a table, organizing for the young people to have books. This little car train thing, the number thing. Okay, I'm telling my age now. Never mind. So I'm gonna, but no, in the link, everybody, please, if you're listening on Twitter, Ramilda, I do stuff in real time, so I'm gonna tweet it right now while we're talking. But how are things going with the fundraiser, or with the not fundraiser, the wish list? How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I have a couple of friends that shared. Some folks, I have people there in my family too that, some people they don't go on Amazon. They don't have social media. So they would give me money, but that's family, close people would give me money and I'll just order it with my card. But it's going pretty well. My living room is stacked with some stuff. I'm also blessed that able to have some teachers that reached out from BPS who had extra stuff in the classroom when school was out. They dropped the stuff off over here. Father Conway, who is a Catholic priest that used to be out, well, still is. He used to be at St. Peter's, but he still looks out for our neighborhood. He's a big supporter for Bowdoin and Geneva in Dorchester. So he's always dropping stuff off. Also, another thing that he gave me was packages of care packages, if you want to call it, shampoo, soap, things like that.
So you need that stuff too, even though it's not on the wish list. You do need, is it better? Do you want the travel size, or you want the big size, or
what? The big size works. What I do with those is go deep into. I don't know if folks ever came. This is everywhere: Cape Verde, Jamaica, DR. We have the city. That's where all the tourist people come and visit. But a lot of people don't go out to the countryside, which is up in the mountains, where people really don't have, they make do with what they have and things like that, but they don't have like we do. Kathy Kim, shout out to Kathy Kim from Alpha Omega. She donated about 40 pairs of brand new sneakers to give for me to give to the kids that are out in the mountains that don't have, I'm grateful for that, blessed. So even though I'm asking for this stuff on the wish list, people are reaching out that's like, hey, I have this. Can people utilize? They can utilize anything. Clothing. I always say, for those, like I said, clothing, which we don't really care. Some of us a little bougie. We'll wear something once or twice and don't wear it again. Or like me, right? I have dresses that I don't wore to weddings and I won't wear it again because they're all over these photos and stuff like that, and they just sit in the closet. Have sent those. I found a place to send them, and it's there. I used to always send things to Goodwill till I found out that they were selling stuff, and I like to give it to people that really need it, right? Yeah. So everything counts. There's a big thing going on, like in Africa. Cape Verde is in Africa. It also happens there. There's women young girls, I should say, and women who are in need of sanitary napkins, So things like that are very important. They're useful. Like I said, the little things that we don't think about and we take for granted, they don't have.
One thing I wanted, Pastor Marion was asking, and I presume you'll go there with the stuff or you have a contact there, but Ramilda, God bless you. Who's handling the distribution on the Cape Verde side?
So I have an opportunity to go back in August for something else. By the time the boat get there, I'll be there to be able to take out and distribute. And any other time that I do send stuff, my family does. And also a friend of mine who was deported from the U.S., from Boston, who's there, and I get that question too, because there are people that you send the donations to, then they turn around and try to sell it. We have a different relationship. I have a different relationship with people. I will say this.
Ramilda don't play that, y'all. I'll
put that out there. At all. In my family, I will say that, they're blessed. Those that are there, they don't want to come here. That's why they're there. You know what I mean? Or they've come and moved back because they don't want to be here, right? They prefer there. We have a better life out there, I would say. And it's like my dad, and he's if you're Cape Verde and you've seen this viral video where he's going off talking about how, we're not helping our people and stuff like that. So that's my father, trust me, I got his ways.
The chip don't fall from the block. What does it say? I forgot how they say it.
Apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but my father don't play that. And my family are very blessed. Like I said, we take care of them. They have everything. There's no need for us to, anything like that. But my friend Manny, who was also living really well out there, is part of this. It would be a person to pick up and helps distribute. But I will say the mayor of Fugu, New Year's Silva, is very dedicated, I would say. I definitely want him to run for president. This is someone who gives back with his own money. This is someone who went to school outside of the country to be an engineer, things like that, but gave all that up for politics and has his own money and is well off, but definitely takes care of the community and gives back. So I trust him wholeheartedly.
Okay. And Pastor Marion said, thank you for answering. Mama Java says, hi, Ramilda. You're not going to
Hey, Mama is.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention to you all. Everybody does not have Amazon. And so if you were inclined, I'm going to ask all of you right now, 14 of you that are in, and those that watch this, if everybody that watches this or is watching right now can just cash out Ramilda anywhere from $10 to $20, it adds up. If you can't do 10 or 20, if it's only 5, Ramilda said a few minutes ago that whatever amount helps. And so I'm going to get ready to send her my donation right now in real time.
Oh, thank you. You already gave me a donation. That's awesome. Thank you.
I'm trying to keep that on the low. Hold on, Ramilda. Y'all know I do the tech stuff right here in real time. Okay, so I'm going to do like Bishop Bragg did, or he used to do.
You're going to have to bring me back on so I can show the receipt of what I bought to show people.
We would love to see the work.
You know what our people, I'm not saying the people that are on now, but you know what our people do a lot of? See, you know me. See, they might see me in a particular car driving, and next thing you know is Ramilda stole from the people and got her a so-and-so car. It's like, if you knew me, you knew that was already happening. But yeah, we do that a lot to each other. I can't even go on a vacation without people saying, well, they haven't said that about me, but and even though they've known me for all these years, and this is stuff I've been doing before I even thought of helping any community or myself, and then
Bro,
it'll just be, Ramilda went to Jamaica on 9 dime. Like that's the real reason why I don't accept money. I don't at all.
it's listen, I you know, the integrity, if people don't know you, then yes, it's okay to have that filter of integrity to make sure. Like when Pastor Marion asked, she probably just asked for information. You clarify.
Oh yeah,
It's when people don't either be able to answer or they don't want to answer. And it I don't want to get too deep into stuff. I'll just say I started, we gonna go to church for a minute. I started the offering off with $50. If I can get everybody to quote unquote tithe, that's $5, 10% of that. That's tithe. Let's go to church for a minute. And so if you all do that, we will minimally leave this show with $200 for Ramilda. And so the money does give her flexibility to things that aren't donated. It gives her the ability to go buy those things, or if there are costs. The young man that she mentioned is going to get it over free for her, whatever. Sometimes there are costs away from the supplies that have nothing to do with Ramilda or Cape Verde. It comes with business. And so if you're inclined, and you can do both, you can go buy something off of Amazon, and you can also send a donation to her Cash App. I'm asking folks, I'm soliciting and ask you all. There it is. It's right there. There's her Cash App. I thought I put it up. Wait a minute, hold on. There it is, Pastor Marion. You want me to put it in? Let me put it in the comments in case you all need to go back after. Hide. Ramilda, I don't have a producer, so I'm doing this in real time right now. Hide, copy, save, comments.
Multitask.
Paste. With one computer screen. All right, so.
I mean, it is Mental Health Monday. Let's get back to that. Like,
okay.
Importantly.
No, you're not going to. We're not going to brush that off, but no, folks, please. You see how Ramilda is. She wants to move away from the soliciting. But please send. This is me. This is Jimmy, asking you all to support this. I've only done this once in a while. Last time we did this with Brother Gene from Portraits of Pride. Y'all gave that brother over $400 to support the work, and so I appreciate that.
Oh, that was dope.
Oh yeah, they when John with Jimmy fam gets behind folks with these Cash Apps, they go in. They go in.
Whenever I go back and read the comments and not take it off of like Cash App, they go in even with like uplifting people, and I love that. Yeah. Like every time I go back in the comments.
Did you say Mama Java checked in on you the other day?
Yeah, she does. She does. I love that. Don't laugh. I really actually like
I'm not. It's just it
makes you feel good. Like honestly, I'm used to my mother texting me or calling me all the time, but like when someone else is reaching out just to check on you, just hey, how you doing? Like I'm telling you, it makes you feel good. Like it really does. My little heart warms up.
Oh, you got a big heart. All right, that's a good segue back into Mental Health Monday because I'm on vacation, so we'll go till about 9:30. But Rachel is in the room. Keys, what's up, homie? Please share this on Twitter, the link and the Cash App information as well. Good to see you in the room. The give back. There is, when you give back and when you advocate in community, let's go back to that mental health piece for a minute. Hold on, somebody just texted me. I think that's Kathy. I told her you shouted her out. Oh, yep. Cool. Shout out to Kathy that did it. Kathy Kim. I had just told her, I said, hop on, Ramilda just gave you a shout out. She said, why is Ramilda yelling so early in the morning? I'm like, shout out. But there is this type of Ramilda. I love her. From the healing tour to this type of work you do to the restorative justice, how do you, and I'll just say we've shared conversations where you've done what some folks may call shadow work, the background work. I think a lot of us in this space often come into it with a lot of stuff and we don't do the work we need to do on us to be most impactful in this space. But
that was me.
Me too.
I'm very guilty of that.
To be maybe the last, let me be as real and transparent, maybe the last, right before COVID. And then I think COVID forced a lot of us to kind of sit with ourselves And so how do you handle the stress and stuff, the frustration that comes with being someone that wants to help? I won't give you a title. I'll say what you do. How do you handle that from a mental health space, being someone that wants to help?
See, when you mentioned COVID and saying we had to sit with ourselves, that's something that I practiced long before COVID ever even was thought of, right?
Yeah.
I'll take you back, which to like my incarceration. And I was incarcerated. I did a couple of bids. I didn't get it the first, second, or the fourth time. And being in solitary confinement, you sit with yourself for 23 hours a day. Some of the times I sat with myself longer than 23 hours a day. All right. And by myself, literally. And these are all public records. You could get it from the sheriff's department or DOC, but I was taught to sit with myself, but it was different. Like when I did that, I was learning about me, different things like that. I was able to see like who has your back in that aspect. And but it didn't really change me. It just made things worse. It changed me in a different way.
Yeah.
Then time go on, whatever, you have kids, then you have to fall back from a lot of nonsense because you have kids now. You got to be there for them. My last incarceration, my youngest was in kindergarten or so, I would say. She doesn't even know about it. But I will say that was different, right? Because at that time, I was my own woman. I had a big first kid. I was young, still living at home with my mom. Second one, I was all on my own type of thing. And when you wake up and you're waking up, because in your mind, you're programmed to wake up to go bring your kids to school. And then you woke up and you're in a cell. And it's like, yo, I can't keep doing this. And I wanted to break that cycle because what I also noticed with women is there was women that were there with their own daughters, you know what I mean? Or their son was across the next building. And I didn't want that, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to break that cycle, like for real, for real. I didn't think it was cool. I didn't want that for my kids. Like I felt like they deserve so much better. There's more out there. That's when I came home and like really understood motherhood and being a mom and putting them first and putting the loyalty, fuck the streets, but put the loyalty to my kids first before anything. So things started changing from there, right? Started working a full-time job, blah, blah, blah. But my attitude and who I am was still the same, right? You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to cross a certain line. That was my attitude. And, I still was going to hold my own, if not no one else. Because I always felt like since a kid, I was always my own protector. I protected me. There's a lot that I don't talk about because I feel like people would look and judge other people based off of what happened.
Yeah.
And and I don't judge those people and look at them like that, right? So no, I was never, as a kid, I was never sexually abused or anything like that, but I was physically abused, right? So hurt people, right? So I got my ass whooped a lot. Sometimes for shit I never even did. No bullshit. That really is the story. But as I got older, you know what I mean? Like that little child was still in me. I still was battling her. Right. I still was battling her and supporting her. So that's where that whole defense mechanism came in at. No one's going to touch me. No one's going to bother me. I'm going to protect me, and I'm all I got. And I ended up moving forward. So after that, a couple of years later, after probation and all of that was done, Marty Walsh offered me a position as a violence interrupter, right? They thought it was a great idea. Here I am, a big leader in my neighborhood. The young people looked up to me. Everybody, whether it was positive or negative, you know what I mean? I had a great quote unquote reputation in the hood. So they figured the violence interrupters, let's go back and get the key impact players and put them back in their community to make change. Dope, awesome program. Loved it. Had a great time. Killed it, right? Played my role to the fullest. I was able to connect with this. And then, but what people didn't understand is I was battling coworkers, right? For some reason, there was always some drama, some he said, she said, just things that I didn't know how to deal with and couldn't deal with. And my way of doing it is checking people and letting you know that's not happening. But not even knowing how to communicate, that's something too that we don't really have much of. and be able to say, this is what I need, or you doing this is making me feel like that. I never knew any of that, right? My thing was, who the fuck you talking to? What's going on? You know, that type of thing.
Yep.
I was in trouble all the time as a violence interrupter. I think I was suspended like 4 times, probably. No bullshit. Because it was always something different they couldn't understand. But, and then me too, I also don't like that so many people, everybody want to be a gangster. And motherfucker, everybody, all this, and it's no, right? So I didn't see you in the cell next to me, or I didn't see you when this was happening. You know what I mean? So to, in my mind, it's like, why you trying to portray that to some kids? It's corny. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of stuff I had to battle. Then I ended up going to another organization and up seeing how people are mistreating these young people. So, or utilizing these young people for monetary gains and things like that. And for me, as you know, James, you knew me back then as a teenager involved in all this. When I see someone doing that to a youth, it goes back to when Ramilda was a youth, and I'd seen this shit happen, and I used to call it out, and nobody used to listen to me because I was a kid. So the child Ramilda that I talked about that I never healed would show up. So I didn't know. In these spaces, it may look like, damn, she's rough, she's angry, she's aggressive, she's this and that, but I didn't know that then either, but I know that now. That was little Ramilda showing up, right? That's why she was so angry. That's why she couldn't express herself to be like, you know, in certain ways, because she was getting offended. Because again, little Ramilda was still hurt. I went to therapy. It didn't work then. I won't say it don't work now. And that's because I thought if you go to therapist, you go to therapist. But I now know and will say, just because that one didn't work for you, it doesn't mean you can go through them. You're hiring them. So do a interview process, so to speak. If it don't work, go to the next. I now have one that I definitely adore and can just talk about things. And she's always signed. I'm always figuring my own shit out. She just knows how to get me there.
I'm going to chime in a little bit because there, so 2 people came in and said, you need to write an autobiography. And both of these,
I hear that all the time.
Both of these women are authors. These are actual authors that have, I think a couple, I think Pastor Marion has 1 or 2. Leslie has about 3 or 4 books out. And so, and there goes somebody calling Ramilda because they see her online. But no, I wanted to chime in a little bit. One, I wanted folks to hear a little bit of your story, because I think away from what you say that you're doing, them hearing a little bit of your story gives a little bit of your why. And so for folks that may watch this after this or whatever, Pastor Mary said, no, baby, it's 3 books. Yes, Pastor Marion, 3 books. But I think that is important because it speaks to character and integrity. And so no matter who's collecting here, who's the touch person over at home, they saw in the inner part of you that informs your work. But I do think that at some point, as we get this job at After Dark together, to actually sit down with you and talk about, like, you gave some of it today, but like your story at like a Sunday night at 9 o'clock, so we can have this real convo. So I say this all the time to you, and just to see the young lady that you refer to from back in the day to this wonderful woman.
I was wild.
You're still wild. And what I mean by that is evolution. I think we had talked the other day. It means we evolved from something. And so the foundation of what we evolved from, the reason we're so better when we evolve is because of that. And so we just take the energy, we wrap it up differently, and we present it differently. But no, I am really, really proud of you. Pastor Marion said I would love to do a dialogue with her. She is a hidden treasure. Listen, folks don't know. Ramilda, I'll tell you this. Ramilda, how can I say this? Ramilda is active and influential in more spaces than what the public is aware. Can we say it like that?
Yeah.
We'll just frame it like that. We'll be political, and you're not political.
Yep. I'm not. I know people always tell me to run for politics, but that's another thing. Like, no, because you know what ends up happening? Like, I'm telling my truth now, and I'm telling y'all, I messed up a lot, even going into, like, it wasn't last incarceration. Woo-ha, it's a new Ramilda. Definitely not. Like, I messed up a lot. I'm not gonna lie. This shit that happened, that if you hear about it, I'm like, what? Like, yeah. But see, I can tell my truth now, and I can talk about those things, right? But I can talk about how I changed them, how, I was wrong a lot of times. I was wrong. I handled things ways that I could have did better now that I know. But those same things haunt me forever, because there's always those people with that paper in the background, like, remember she did this? Remember she, you know what I mean? And it's like, it stems you from getting different opportunities. Cancel culture, you know what I mean, will come out of nowhere. Like, I'll tell you right now I did it. And 5 years down the line, some way, somehow, that shit's gonna cancel me, or it's gonna stop me from getting the opportunity. It happened. It happened a couple of years ago. I had a great opportunity. They reached out to me. It was through BPS. They wanted me to be there as the manager and all of that, because they thought, because they saw how I am with the young people. And you see how I am with the young people. They flock to me, right? And it's just a relatable thing. But people are always like, hey, remember she did this? Remember she did that? And yes, I did. I can tell you I did. I know I did. And this is why, like my kids, I'm overprotective of my kids. I really am. And that's because I don't want no harm to be caused by them. I'm afraid. I get scared. You know what I mean? Like, I know how something so small like bullying and things like that can change and shape a kid in a whole different way. You could be the best parents, 2-parent household that you want to be. But I just know, like, just one little incident or one kid getting jumped or beat up can change that child's whole perspective on everything.
Listen, Dr. Falk Rufus, as you know, used to say that the proximity of some of our young people is one incident. They're on the line. They got a cousin that went through this, something went through that, and we won't, go too far into that.
Yeah, you got a kid. You raised them to be the best. Let's name this kid John. That's my dad's name too. But you got John. John is the best kid in the world. He got the best mother and father. They eating dinner at 8 o'clock together. Nice household. They buying him all the latest sneakers. All of that, right? And you're there for your son and you're all of that. But when your son's walking home, high school age, it happens. I know many people it happened to. They walking home and, so a lot of kids pick on kids that they think are weak to make them feel better about themselves. John just got to get jumped 1 or 2 times and it's a wrap. And now John feels like, yo, how can I protect myself? They don't even know how to communicate this at home, that this is happening. They don't got see, for me, it was different. I had older cousins that'll pull up, but you know what I mean? They don't have that, right? And he picks up a gun because he feels as though it's like, yo, I'm tired of getting bullied. I'm tired of getting jumped. I'm tired of, all these other things.
It's really real for a lot of our young people. And we can end with this, and I will remind folks, and I told some folks I need to get you the flyers today. But the healing tour, our last stop is on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. in Mattapan at Morningstar Baptist Church. And I wasn't there, but I heard Mattapan was very interesting on the night of the 4th. It technically was a mass shooting. Upon the 4th occurrence of a person getting shot, they consider that, a mass shooting. And so I think it's important for parents to come out, young people to also share what's going on. But this is also a space to talk about ideas and suggestions to how we get Ramilda referred to. I think we said the word a couple of times, but Ramilda talked about her road to healing. And so we can do that individually. And yes, as individuals, the more of us do it, our village is made better. But intentionality is a big word. And if we're intentional about trying to address this from the village together, it also helps the individuals. And so a plug, an announcement for the healing tour on this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. at Morningstar Baptist Church. There will be food, not refreshments, food. Ramilda, chicken, jerk, right? The last one.
You saying to me, I ain't cooking.
No, but I'm saying the last one I looked at Ramilda, I was saying something. I was kind of low and I was like, Ramilda, she was over there getting it together. But we definitely want you guys to spread the word, to tell folks to come out to Mattapan. It's the last meeting. And so, yes, we've done it in different neighborhoods, but if you don't live in Mattapan, you can still come. Angie, the daughter, is in the room. So Ramilda, the Real Boston Media, I don't know if you follow them on Twitter. They're in the room.
I do.
So next Sunday night at 9:00 after dark, we're going to find out who's behind the Real Boston Media. We're doing an exclusive, but they're in the room today, and they said, I also think her story could be a book, and I would read it. The community event at the school, when the award was presented to her, I felt the power of her being while she gave her speech. And so somebody was in the room the night you got your Red Cup Award. And so there's a lot more that you'll hear from Ramilda. Here's what you can do. If you don't Cash App, let's put this back up there. If you don't Cash App, or if you aren't able to get on Amazon and do the wish list, guess what you can do? You can show up Thursday at 6:30 p.m. and bring Ramilda a bag. I don't mean a money.
Oh
bag.
Yeah, right. No money. No, I'm telling you, people might see me driving cars and just
let me just park for a minute, because as someone who you see the years I've been in this space, that someone that a former activist or advocate used to say this: why do people have to, not that we're taking anything that we're doing with the funds and stuff that we use to help. People have reached out to you and said, hey, what do you think about this? People reach out to me and say, hey, we want, to get your thoughts on this. That's a consultant. Why do people that help have to live in poverty?
We don't. I just think that if you ask for money,
you're right.
You're asking for money to feed the homeless. Use that money to feed the homeless. I'm just saying. What I mean? Don't go buy a BMW.
Exactly. And you present it in a manner.
But people forget that I have a job. I work full time, 2 jobs. You know what I mean? People
along
forget
with
that.
This. Along with this.
And I don't pay myself a Project Turnaround, not yet, but I literally have 2 jobs. And no, because you looking at me like that, but it's an opportunity that I was able to give 3 other people. You know what I mean? By not paying myself, I was able to give 3 other people a comfortable.
Oh, no, I'm looking at you like that because a lot of people don't know that behind the space here, Java with Jimmy don't write himself a check to James W. Hills. Like we figured out, I'm content creating in Miami. So, we figure out ways to do things, but listen, if you can't send the Cash App, if you can't go to the Amazon wish list, come to the Healing Tour meeting on Thursday. Bring Ramilda a bag of shampoos,
crayons, pencils,
the sanitary
notebooks.
If you want to bring some smell good stuff, like and I'll say this: Ramilda's not saying it. Anything that we donate, make sure that it's something that you would either wear or want. I struggle with this, Ramilda. People tell me all the time, oh, James, clothes you don't wear no more, you should give them away instead of throwing them out. I haven't got over it yet. My philosophy is if I don't want them, why would I want to give them to someone else?
Because to them, it may be something big. Like, for example,
I think you've said that to me before as well, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. But
we had True Religions. When True Religion went out, we just had it sitting in the closet, right? Because we're not gonna wear it. After you done paid $300, $400 pair of jeans. But I mean, my family, we put it in a barrel and send it back there. And to them,
I can't afford no.
It's like they just got it. But I will say this: people need to stop sending like a night shirt you wore for 5 years and it got holes in it and y'all sending it back to Africa. What you're doing is now there's a country out there now that, you know what I mean? It's pollution and why would you want to do that? Like, just because they need don't mean that they raggedy. Like, take care of your people. Like, just take care of your people. That's all.
Listen, I'm with you. There's so much we went to today, but I want to just leave with the fact that there's an opportunity for the Java with Jimmy family to contribute, to help, for us to go international in our helping. And so you can give.
Yes, I would love for y'all to come out there too. So James, I keep offering him and he don't come.
You don't want me to come over there. Anyway, please go to this link and purchase some of the items, and they go directly to Ramilda and she'll get them over there. Also, don't forget that there is the Cash App. And then also don't forget, on Thursday night, you can come to Morning Star Baptist Church, bring a bag of supplies. What is the greatest thing that you need right now? The biggest thing, the most of?
Socks, sanitary napkins.
Okay.
And socks for kids, my fault.
Okay,
sanitary
children's
napkins.
Sanitary napkins. Like okay, and because I grew up in a house, I'm going to be very specific. Napkins, I know there's the tampon style, like all of that, or just the napkins?
I would say all of that, because we don't
all
know
of it. Okay.
people.
Yep,
give people
exactly.
a preference. That's a good idea. Yeah.
And respectfully so. I grew up in a house of women, so I know. Yeah. And so sanitary napkins.
See, I say sanitary napkins because I always was like, I don't know. You know who told me that?
Who?
Miss Jen Tyler.
How do I know that name?
China Tyler's mom.
Oh, okay.
Miss Jen.
Sanitary napkins, you know, is a way. But then when you say napkin, anyway, we don't want to go too far. But just bring women, and y'all know the items y'all need. And so bring those, bring shampoo, bring lotion, just bring a bag on Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. and Ramilda will gladly accept it. Don't forget, again, the Cash App, and also the link to the Amazon. Where is it? The Amazon link. And it's a live link. So it's pinned at the top. And so if you're watching this after, just go to the comments. It's pinned at the top. And we flash the Cash App up here enough that you all can see that as well. All right. Ramilda, I love you.
Thank you. Love you too. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And congratulations, James. You're doing a lot. You're doing big things.
Get off my screen.
I keep seeing you. You're doing great.
I'm trying. Now, if we can just do great on Thursday night, we'll be all set.
Oh, Thursday night. I want people to understand too. The healing tour is not just because some people has a misunderstanding. They thinking like you have to come and tell your story if you're like been traumatized and things like that. Like that's not it. It's actually just a space where we could come together as a community to talk about trauma and talk about stuff in our community and the services that we may need and don't see that we do need. And we could go back to the city officials and say, hey, Dorchester, Bowdoin, Geneva needs, you know, this, or they're looking for, you know, whether it's to get your pool fixed, you know, or community centers opened, things like that. That's the stuff that we need to know. So we could go back to certain folks and put that on the table. And if you know me, I'll hold people accountable. For real. So it's not just going to fall on deaf ears.
I love you. Did you do the petty? That's all. You may go. I'm done.
Yep. Not like that to the people.
I know. I'm messing. I'm going to get ready to go so I can enjoy my last day. Let me be a little petty for a minute.
Oh, you're in Miami.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I needed to recharge. So, you know, I can't go. I don't get flown out to international countries and whatnot. So I have to.
It was only Cape Verde.
Only. Do you know what don't get me to cussing on a Monday morning. All right, sis, I love you. I'll be in touch later today about Thursday, and we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you. Love y'all. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you.
All right.
Don't forget, folks, you can go here to, let me get back to, how do I do this? You can go here to look at the supplies that Ramilda needs. And I've seen a couple of more things pop up on the purchase thing. So thank you, whoever's going ahead and purchasing some things already today. Don't forget, you can also get her, her Cash App is also here. And also at the top of the comments is the way that you can navigate your way to the wish list. Thank all of you for tuning in today. We will not be with you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We will be on our way back. And Angie, daughter, thank you. We will be on our way back, and we will be back with you Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Oh, shoot. I was supposed to show a commercial today. Actually, hold on, y'all. I might be, oh no, never mind. On the road. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. Have a great day. Pray traveling mercies for me tomorrow. And we'll see you Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Hold on. Let me get it right this time. Okay, here we go.